Welcome to another edition of Soul on Soul with Phinesse. I'm your boy Phinesse. It's always a pleasure to be with you folks, interviewing independent music artists. And I want to thank you folks for making our show the show that it is. Corey and I can't thank you enough. You guys been downloading the show. You've been emailing us, and our past guests have been telling other artists about us, and they've been wanting to get interviewed. So we appreciate it. Shout out goes to Anissa Music, because this gentleman I'm interviewing today is courtesy of her hitting me up, wanting them to be on this show. So my guest today is Kenny Nightingale. He is the music maker. We talking jazz. Shout out to my girls, suing them over at Smooth Jazz Network. I know them, and he's associated with them as well. So I'm looking forward to this interview. So who is Kenny Nightingale, the music maker? We're going to find out. So let's get into this interview. Mr. Kenny Nightingale, what's going on, sir? How are you?
Man, I'm good, man. Can't complain. I give thanks, man. I give thanks, It's an honor to be here. Thanks for inviting me to be part of your show. I'm humbled about it, and I'm very grateful. And, I'm looking forward to this. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No, thank you. So tell the folks a little bit about yourself. What instrument you play? How'd you get involved in making music? And how did you get down to Atlanta, the spot of new Black music?
Anyway, first of all, I'm a saxophonist. I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I play several instruments, but the saxophone is my major instrument. And, I'm into smooth jazz, R&B, gospel music, pop, and stuff like that, And I've been playing the sax for quite a while, It's been a while now, I've been playing the saxophone, I came all the way from the motherland, the promised land, to the United States.
Africa. Okay.
I came to get the lost angels, I came to look for the lost angels, so I can take them back to the promised land, you know what I'm saying? So I came, with my music, my saxophone, that's why I said, I want to blow my saxophone, if you're ready, come go with me, come along with me, So I'm speaking to the lost angels, I'm looking for all over the place, in Hollywood, LA, New York, Philly, Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, everywhere, I'm saying everywhere. I'm just looking around for the lost angels with my saxophone. I say, look, I want to blow my saxophone for you, so I can take you to the promised land, you know what I'm saying? So, years down the road, I came to New York. New York was my first stop. When I left the motherland, I went straight to New York, to the Bronx, And I was in New York for quite a while. Then I left New York. I went down south to Nashville, Tennessee, Music City,
Okay.
I was in Music City for like 9 years, I got stuck. I was looking for the angels, but I couldn't find the lost angels, I had to leave, And I moved down to Atlanta, Georgia, and the rest is history, It's been good ever since. I've been down to Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you, who are some of your musical influences?
Well, I got a lot of folks that influenced me. First of all, my dad, is a saxophone player. He's the one who introduced me to the music business. He introduced me to the saxophone. Some years way back. And taught me how to play the saxophone. And apart from my dad, my dad introduced me to people like John Coltrane. He brought their records. Back in the day, you have a turntable, the records. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, he used to bring the LPs, to me, say, hey, can you listen to this guy? His name is John Coltrane. Listen to this guy, Dizzy Gillespie. Hey, I got this guy for you, Grover Washington Jr., Sadao Watanabe, I was listening to, I was giving a lot of stuff, So those guys, I listened to their music and I fell in love with jazz, jazz improvisation, people like Charlie Parker, John Coltrane and stuff like that. Even George Benson, the guitarist. I fell in love with George Benson. Then I went deep on my own to Jimi Hendrix. I love Jimi Hendrix, it's into rock. But hey, music is music, you know what I'm saying? I get influenced by all style of music, country music, pop, bebop, R&B, just named it, as long as it's good music. So yes, I fell in love with Jimi Hendrix. Then I fell in love with people like Slash, the guitarist, Slash.
Right.
You know,
right.
Yeah, I fell in love with Slash. You know, and then today we're speaking of people like Jello Bright, Dave Cars, you know, even Michael Linton, just to name a few, So I got inspired by a lot of good musicians and artists out there,
Right. So all the different genres of music that you talked about, you touched on, all comes from the soul genre. I'd like to know what your definition of soul music is, especially because you come from the motherland, so you see music on a whole nother level than what we do in the United States. So what's Kenny's definition of soul music?
My definition of soul music?
Yes.
My definition is, soul music is when you play from the within. When you hear music that's being created from the within yourself, and from within the artist, it comes from the deep of the artist. It brings so much soul and flavor to the music. You know what I'm saying? That's why my definition of soul music, personally, as Kenny Nightingale, I can mingle between smooth jazz and blues. Okay. I can mix blues and smooth jazz together. And to me, it becomes soul music with soul. Because you and I know blues got a lot of soul into it. That's right. So now, I'm playing smooth jazz, but now I'm changing to the blue note. I'm using some blues scales on my smooth jazz. Now it becomes soulful to me. I'm bringing in the blues into smooth jazz. To me, that is soul, because it's coming from the deep, from the depth of the artist. So that's my personal definition of soul. So I'm not going to define soul music as any other artist is going to define soul. To me, soul music is the way the music is being composed and arranged, and it depends on how it's coming, how it's flowing from the artist to the audience. So like I said, blues and smooth jazz, and mix it together, and you got you some soul.
We are talking to Kenny Nightingale, the music maker, jazz musician in the Atlanta area, doing big things across the nation and definitely worldwide. We're going to take a break here, but before we take this break, Kenny, I always like to give my guests the opportunity to share their website or their social media. Can you share it with everyone so they can begin following you?
Yes, yeah. You can reach me. You can find me on my website, www.kennynightingale.com. Just go to World Wide Web, kennynightingale.com. Start with the Nightingale is N, so you go kennynightingale.com. And you can reach me on Facebook, as Kenny Grooves, Kenny Jazz Grooves. Or you just go to Google and you put Kenny Nightingale. Hey, you see my beautiful face all over the internet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. On Instagram, it's Kenny.Nightingale. Kenny.Nightingale on Instagram. Yeah.
All right. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna talk to Kenny a little bit more. Maybe break down some of the music that he sent us that we're gonna play with you or play for you this evening and on the podcast. So don't go anywhere. You know how the soul do. We keep you soul connected. Soul on Soul with Phinesse. Your man Phinesse, Kenny Nightingale. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Second segment of Soul on Soul with Phinesse. My guest today, Kenny Nightingale, jazz musician. Got some hot music out there, folks. And we're going to play some of it for you here tonight so you can see and get a taste of that. But I want to read something that he wrote. I really like it. And it says, be inspired by everything. He says that he finds inspiration all around him. He tries to make music representative of himself and his generation. He dreams one day that humanity will live in unity side by side in this world, and that peace and love will bring us all as one. Can you explain yourself with that? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, one of my biggest dreams, since I started playing music, since I was a little boy, seeing things going around planet Earth, is why can't humanity come together and live as one? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If we're all created by, one Heavenly Father, one God, why can't we come together and live as one, side by side? But I've come to realize that the only way we can live side by side is love. We got to have love from within us, So like when I see you, I see God. When I see that man, I see God. It doesn't matter the race or the color, ethnicity, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? When I see anybody, I see God. I see the face of God in you. You know what I'm saying? So you should see the face of God in me. But that brings what we call love. So that's why I get inspired by the mother nature, by the beautiful things, when I create music, when I write music, I get inspired when I see the birds in the sky, singing beautiful songs, I just pick up my pen or my pencil, I begin to write music, sweet melodies. I get inspired by nature, by the water, by the fountain, by the beautiful, by the wind, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel humanity, I pray one day we can come to our self-realization that if only we can have love in our hearts, things will be totally different from the way they are today. That is what I meant by, by that, love.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you hope to accomplish with your music? Like your definition, I love your thought about mankind, and you're doing music to bring people together. So what do you want to accomplish with your music in saying that?
Well, one of my, my focus in life, but when it comes to my music is, one of my greatest accomplishments is going to be that that my music get to touch all lives, mostly the young generation, the younger generation, get to touch young, old, and everything, just whatsoever, but mostly the younger generation, I got to pass the good news of music, that music is spirit to me. Music is very spiritual, it comes from within, you know what I'm saying? Like I was telling a friend the other day, without music, there'll be no doctor. Without music, there'll be no engineers, Without music, there'll be nothing. Music carries the world. It makes the world goes around, you know what I'm saying? So one of my biggest accomplishments is when I leave this earth, when I leave planet Earth, and when I ascend above, to be with the greater one, I want to make sure my music stays behind and live forever, because the heavens and the earth will pass away, but the spirit of love, the spirit of music will never go away. It will always remain the same. So one of my greatest, desire is that I accomplish while I'm on earth, is that my music becomes spiritual and touch the life of every human on earth, because when I give you my music, I come with you with good music, good vibes.
Right.
So when Kenny Nightingale is gone, my music lives forever. Like I said, the heaven and the earth will pass away, but my music remains the same for eternity. That will be one of my greatest accomplishments when I'm gone.
All right. Speaking of music, one of your latest releases is called Coltrane to Montgomery, and I want to play it here tonight. Can you talk about that song? What is that talking about?
Yeah, I wrote that song Coltrane to Montgomery. You can split it in both ways. But the major reason why I wrote that song was some of my great mentors. People that inspired me in music, John Coltrane. Then Montgomery comes from the name Wes Montgomery, the guitarist, the late great Wes Montgomery.
Right.
And then I was writing this song, and I thought of how John Coltrane, the late John Coltrane, saxophonist, will want to write music for today's century, for today, for now. How will John Coltrane is bebop. You know, but we are playing smooth jazz. But if John Coltrane is alive today, how will he interpret smooth jazz today? You know what I'm saying? So John Coltrane went to visit his friend, Wes Montgomery, the guitarist, you know, and say, look, Wes, there's this piece I'm working on. How can we interpret music in the 21st century? Then now I brought my brother, who is a guitarist, you know, he loved Wes Montgomery himself. I said, look, I want you to play the guitar. Think of Wes Montgomery. Think of Wes when you're playing the guitar. So then I brought my other brother, who is a keyboardist and an organist. I said, look, John Coltrane went to visit Wes Montgomery. And Jimmy Smith, the organist, heard of the visit of John Coltrane to Wes. And Jimmy Smith took his organ and went to hang out with his buddies. And now here comes the track Coltrane to Montgomery. You know what I'm saying? So that's one part of the story of that music. Or it could be Kenny Nightingale, I'm boarding the train, the Coltrane. I'm heading down south to Montgomery, Alabama, you know, to hang out with my buddies. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I wrote that stuff, you know? Yeah, that's how Coltrane to Montgomery came about, you know?
All right. Well, we're going to get into that. We're going to get in that, Mr. Nightingale. Here is Kenny Nightingale. The song is entitled Coltrane to Montgomery. And we got more on the way from Kenny Nightingale. So make sure you check out the song and hurry on back. Soul on Soul with Phinesse. You know how we do. Keeping your soul connected. Welcome back, Phinesse, Kenny Nightingale. Song is hot. Coltrane to Montgomery. You know how we get down. We always bring you the best in music, independent artist music. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms under Soul on Soul with Phinesse. And coming soon, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we will put up a website because people keep saying, when are you going to put up a website? We're finally going to put up a website. I don't know when, maybe within a month or two, but we'll keep you posted. But make sure you keep on hitting us up. Soul on Soul with Phinesse at gmail.com if you got any questions or concerns. Now, Kenny, before we played your last song, you talked about your family. I know you come from a family of 8. Is everybody involved in music, and are they involved in your projects?
Yeah, yes, thanks for the opportunity to talk a little bit about my family that I grew up with. I came up, I grew up with 8 brothers. We're all 8 brothers in total. And every 8 brothers all play music, so I grew up in a musical family. My father, is a musician, he still play up to date. He's a saxophonist and a percussionist, so we all grew up playing music and stuff like that. And back in the motherland, I had a band. I and my brothers, we had a band, like a group, called the Fuzzy Brothers, F-U-Z-Z-Y, Fuzzy Brothers.
Okay.
That's what we go by, So, play music, we play all style of music. We play reggae music. We're into reggae. We're into makossa. We're into smooth jazz, funk, pop. We're playing basically everything, you know what I'm saying? But I was leaning more into jazz. As a saxophonist, I was leaning more into jazz and stuff. Then started going to jazz clubs and stuff like that. And years down the road, I head down to the United States, to base here, to settle down here in the States. And then my brother, actually I came to the States with one of my brother, the keyboard player, who's my producer, So then, so we now created a band. We continue the vibes, the spirit of the Fuzzy Brothers here. We continue it here in the States, and then I started going to studio and working on my music, recording my music. Then I had another brother who played the guitar. Then he moved down, relocated down to the United States. He's based in Ohio. And I invited him, hey, whenever I'm recording, I have him down to come and play, put some guitar on my music. So basically, we work together, the brothers, we work together. So it's Kenny Nightingale. My band is called Kenny Nightingale and the Fuzzy Brothers.
Like when I'm play on the Funk Brothers from the Motown, except for you gave it your spin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So when I'm on stage, it's Kenny Nightingale and the Fuzzy Brothers. I'm a solo artist, but at the same time, when I'm with my band, it's Kenny Nightingale and the Fuzzy Brothers. So right. I have my brothers work with me. Like I said, one of my brothers, my producer, is the organist, keyboardist. He's my producer. So I'm blessed to have talented brothers, into music. Great musicians.
So let me answer this because I know you're proud of the motherland and where you come from. But how much of that influence do you intentionally put into your music to give the sound of jazz that you're producing and doing a different flavor or give something different from everyone?
Yeah, because I grew up, in a family household, where we play music, in a musical household where we play music and stuff like that. When I'm writing music, when I'm creating music, apart from the mother nature that gives me a lot of inspiration, I can't forget my roots, where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? So because I grew up in Africa, specifically from Lagos, Nigeria, So a lot of my music, you can hear a lot of influence of the roots of the motherland. I got a lot of influence growing up, the style of music I play, the people I hang out with, my brothers, the way we create music, the way we think when we think about music. So when you listen to most of my sound, you hear a lot of, I have my last album is called Breathe, to breathe, I have some of my tracks. You can hear some rhythms from all over the world. You can hear some African rhythms. You can hear some Spanish, Latin grooves and stuff like that. I put a lot of influence. Incorporate a lot of vibes from the motherland, into my musical work. It's very important to me. Very important to me. I can't forget my roots. Like I said, in fact, talking of that, one of my heroes I look up to is Jonathan Butler. Butler. Yeah, yeah. You know, he's from South Africa. You know.
Yes, he
so
is.
he got those. He got some of those vibes too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love his music. You know, I love his group. It's one of my influence too.
All right. Speaking of music, we have another song by you we want to play, and I'll let you explain it. Called "Peace and Love." What's the theme behind that song?
Peace and love. Yes, sir. Peace and love. You know, peace and love came by. You know, I was in the studio with my friend and I was recording some other track. And, you know, all of a sudden, something popped up on my phone and I was looking at it. You know, there was some chaos going, some part of the world, some chaos going around. And I look at my friend, you know, he's a bass player. I said, man, look, I think I got to write a track called Peace and Love. I think that is what the world needs right about now. We need peace and we need love. Love. You know, if only we can have love in our heart and come together with that love, the power of love, then there will be peace on earth. So I told him, I said, look, I'm going to go home and write me a track called Peace and Love. So I went home. A couple of days later, I called him up on the phone and I was humming it to him. I'm like, I got a track, Peace and Love, you know. You know, let there be peace and love all around the world. And that was it. Then I went to the studio, hang out with him, and I said, hey, I would like to feature you on the bass. Heaven, please. I would like to feature you on the bass. You know what I'm saying? I would love to feature you. And that was it. We started writing. I and my friend, we started putting things together, 1 and 2. That's how I came about peace and love. You know, because I believe the world needs to come together with love from the heart and live in harmony, and there will be peace on earth.
All right. Well, here it is. Peace and love. Kenny Nightingale, Soul on Soul with Phinesse. You know how we do. We'll be right back with more Soul on Soul with Phinesse. Welcome back, Soul on Soul with Phinesse, my very special guest, Mr. Kenny Nightingale. And what's up to Anissa Music for hooking us up, making that connection. And you know, we got to give you that jazz, we got to give you that rhythm, that flavor. And Kenny is doing it his way. There's no set standard. And how you do jazz music, you got to give it your own interpretation. And Kenny is doing just that. Kenny, one of the things I wanted to get in and ask you about is, what's your plans for the future? How's it looking tour-wise? How can we keep up with you to find out where you're at on shows or when you're going to be coming near them?
Yeah, you know, I'm so looking forward to the future, you know, because there are greater things ahead. You know, we look to the future, not to the past. You know, so greater things ahead in front of us, and I'm working towards the future. You know, so right now I'm a manager. We're trying to put 1 and 2 together. You know, working on trying to get on the road, you know, put Kenny Nightingale on the road. I'm looking forward to travel, to play a lot of jazz concerts in major cities around the country, in Europe, you know, Asia, just travel around the globe and spreading the music of love, you know, around the globe. I'm looking forward to it. And also, I'm always looking forward to creating music, creating new music and recording new tracks, dropping new records and stuff, you know, and I want the world to know that Kenny Nightingale is here to stay with good music. You know, I'm looking forward to the future, you know, with my good music,
So in saying that, if someone wants to connect with you to make some music, or they're interested in booking you for a show, is there a phone number or email that people can contact you?
Yes. Yeah. You know, you can reach me on my website, you know, kennynightingale.com. And also, you know, you can also reach me on my email address, kjazznightingale@gmail.com, kjazznightingale@gmail.com. Also, there's a phone number you can, you know, one can reach me at. It's a phone line. It's open to the world for now, 678-851-9333. 678-851-9333. You can reach Mr. Nightingale direct. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. For now, you know, you can reach me through that number, you know, until I get busy, you know. Yeah. But, you know, I'll be blowing my saxophone, you know.
I see.
So I might get busy, you know, with my saxophone, you know.
That's what we hope and pray for, right? That we get busy.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nightingale, it's been a pleasure you being on the show, So On So with Phinesse. You know, you're always welcome. Whenever time you got some new music or you want to drop us a line, we'll put you on. But before I let you go, the last song we want to play by you is called New Day. And I noticed on your website, you said it's your favorite song. Talk about that song that we're getting ready to play.
Yeah, you know, New Day. You know, I wrote New Day, you know, during the coronavirus, you know, when coronavirus came, you know. Actually, I wrote it before the coronavirus, really. But when I wrote it, there was no title. There was no title. You know what I'm saying? There was no title. I wrote this track, and then I decided to drop an album called Breathe. You know, like I said at the beginning of our interview, I said that music is very spiritual. You know, I'm the one that like creating music from the deep within. You know what I'm saying? So New Day and the album Breathe, you know, which is on the album Breathe, you know, it came by inspiration from God, from above, from the higher being. You know, yeah, something told me something. I felt something that the earth is polluted, the world is polluted,
right?
You know, but I couldn't tell what kind of pollution. I said something is wrong. The atmosphere. There's something about the atmosphere. So I went to studio, start cooking my music, recording my music. New Day, Pina Colada, you know, my inspiration. You know, Tears of Africa. I would just put Peace and Love, putting all my music together. You know what I'm saying? When I finished putting this music together, then at the end of finalizing New Day, and I told my brother, my producer, I said, you know, after this thing that is about to happen, I feel something's about to happen, but I can't point exactly what's about to happen on earth. But I say, after everything has happened, I think there should be something new. So I named this track called New Day. After everything being said and done, humanity is going to look for some kind of freshness, fresh air to breathe,
Right.
New Day. So I titled my album Breathe. Then I came up with a max. If you Google Kenny Nightingale Breathe, you will see me with a max on my face. I did that album even before coronavirus, before the virus came out. Yeah. I remember when I took the photo, I sent it to the Smooth Jazz magazine, for promotion. They said, no, Kenny, we need another photo of you without a max. I said, no, I got to use the one with the max. That's my vision. My vision is something is happening. Something's about to happen. I don't know what it is. We went back and forth, then we agreed to use it. And that was it. So when I released it, the following year, the coronavirus came. The virus came. And the whole world now using Max to cover. And my album is called Breathe. We got to breathe. So after, anyway, to keep it short, as soon as we finished everything, after we went through everything, the whole segment and everything, now we started going back out again to our daily activities. Everybody life is becoming normal. Here comes the track, New Day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like foreseeing the future before time. That's why I said music is spiritual. It's highly spiritual. You got to play music from the within, from the depths. So yeah, that is how comes the album Breathe, and that's how comes the track New Day. So right now, you and I, we're living in a new day.
Okay, and this is it, ladies and gentlemen. You know how we do Soul on Soul with Phinesse. We're with you each and every weekend. Check your local listings because we're getting played all over the world, literally. I'm telling you that because it's happening. But this is Kenny Nightingale, our special guest for today. God, thank you for being on the show. This is his new song or latest song, New Day. He's a visionary, had the mask on a year before the coronavirus. So you got to check him out. And as I always do, ladies and gentlemen, go stream his music on any of your favorite platforms. But I always tell people, go to Tidal because Tidal pay the artist more music. And so I got to say what's up to Tidal. Got to keep big up in you. Tidal doesn't pay me, but I know they pay the artist. So until we meet again next time, Soul on Soul with Phinesse. I'm Phinesse, Kenny Nightingale. I'm out. Peace.
Thank you. Peace and love. God bless you, man. Peace. Peace.
singing sweet song of love. I know it's gonna be a brand new day when the nightingale singing the sweet song of music. I know it's gonna be a brand new day. I wanna dance with you. Let the rhythm carry us through. No, play it on my brother, brand new day.
Soul on Soul with Phinesse. 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 This has been another Soul Media production.